Hi everybody, welcome back to Let's Sew. My name's Amanda, for those of you that don't know, and today I'm bringing you the next part in our lingerie bag tutorials. This is going to be the tutorial for the loaf or bread cake storage bag, because apparently nowadays the best way to store bread is in a cotton fabric bag. Not in the fridge, just in your bread bin or wherever that's cool. But yeah, actually made of cotton fabric. Apparently it makes it last longer. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to do today. We did cut out the fabric last time, so we have, let me have a look, we had, if you remember, the rows for the outside and the lining will be pink gingham. Now, I have been asked to show how to square the corners off so that the bag would stand itself on its well, it won't stand itself, it's not magic, but it'll be more stable once it's got things in it like your bread or whatever you're putting in it. The reason I've been asked this is because the lady that I know has asked for the corners tutorial so that she can do Santa sacks for Christmas. So we're going to do the corner square off as well, and also covering lining, which is going to be, it sounds difficult, but it's quite easy really, so don't worry about that. And then also we're going to do the drawstring, but we're not doing it in a casing like we did on the previous video. We're going to just do it through the actual bag, fold over the top and do it through there. So without further ado, please subscribe if you haven't. This will help me grow my channel and help us ensure that content is relevant to what you're wanting to watch. If you've got any comments, please comment below. For those of you that have subscribed, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. If you've got any requests, I've got a few requests already for things such as buttonholes, so I'll do a tutorial on buttonholes on the sewing machine, and also buttonholes by hand, which do take longer. But sometimes you've got a tiny little buttonhole that you need to do. It's easier sometimes to do it by hand. So regardless of that, let's sew. Thank you very much. Right, I need to move the computer a little bit because you need to be able to see. And because I had to move rooms, it was so hot in the conservatory this morning. Oh, unbelievable. However, I have been using this cooling mist spray. I got this from Home Bargains, and you just spray it on your skin in hot weather. It's got vitamin E in it, and I'm forever spraying it. It's really, really good. It cools you down, and it says on here that it's for body and face. So it's a Travel Shop. It's from Travel Shop, it says, but I got it from Home Bargains, and it does help. So it doesn't go sticky, but it says after spraying wait a few minutes and then gently pat dry, which I haven't, and I have used it and it's not a sticky, it kind of air dries, I think, anyway. So good for use on hot days and humid nights. Okay, get that out of the way. That's just what I've been using to try and keep cool. So we've got our fabric. First of all, we'll cut this to size, as I said. What we're going to do is pin and sew. So first of all, I've got right sides together. So if you remember, the right side of the fabric is the darkest colour normally, and it's the most vibrant. So you put your right sides together on your lining piece, okay, and pin all the way around, starting at the short edge, and sew all the way around. But when you get to the bottom, you need to leave a gap of about, I don't know, 4 inches, and I'll show you. That's to pull the actual lining through to the other side. So this will ensure that your seams are enclosed, your fraying seams, or your seams that can fray. It will enclose them inside the other piece of fabric. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to just pause this and then I shall come back here, so just bear with me. Okay, so I've sewn all the way around and I've left our gap at the bottom here. What I need to do now is to turn through to the right side. So just gather up your corner from inside and pull it through, and then you'll see you can poke the corners out so that it's nice and square in each corner. Okay, and then I need to pin the gap closed and just do a quick stitch on that edge. So that's our, looks like a pillowcase. So that's the edges sewn and it's turned through, so it'll prevent fraying as well, will this, because obviously the seams are enclosed inside. Okay, so to close the end, the gap, which is here, it will more or less straighten itself if you just get hold of it and tug gently. The edges, if you can see in here, the seam edges will turn in, and you just need to pop a pin in and stitch straight across that bottom bit. So what I am going to do is stitch that down, but instead of just stitching, let me just pin it and I'll show you what I mean. Instead of just stitching this little gap here, I'm going to top stitch, because that is going to be, oh no, this is going to be our side, isn't it? So I won't do that. I was going to say I'll top stitch across the top of it, but when we've finished our bag, it's going to go that way, not that way. So if it was this side and we'd got the gap on here, then I would just do as we've done there, pin it in and top stitch close to the edge all the way along the top of the seam, so that it's a top stitched finish. And basically what top stitch is a large stitch used for decorative purposes, that's all. So all we'll do then is stitch close to the seam and just seal this gap in. So I'll do that and I'll be back in. Hello, I'm back. Right, I've sewn the edge up. Which one was it? This edge. I'll do this side so you can see. Close to the edge to seal in the raw edges. Okay, now what we're going to do is, this is now pretending as though it's one piece of fabric. So right sides together, I'm going to fold it in half this way. Okay, and then I'm going to pin corners. Now I know this will give you a seam here, but this is a beginner video and I don't want to try and teach you how to do a bag that's got no seam edges at all showing here. I'd rather teach you how to do it like this, and then we can move on so that the edge has just got one seam and it looks as though that you can't see the double thickness here. So, but this is absolutely fine for what we're doing. So I'm going to pin along this edge here. Okay, and across the bottom. Like so. And then what I'm also going to do is show you what we're going to do after that. We're going to fold the top over, and then that will be the channel to put your cord through. Okay, so before I sew this edge, I'm going to fold over probably about an inch here, and I'm going to sew across the top. Fold it over, sew across the top on right at the bottom here to make our channel, and then when we sew the sides, I'm just going to sew to where this is folded over, which then gives us access for our cord and to make the drawstring top. Okay, so we'll pin that all across. It's just easy to pin it and show you it together. If you want to do this bit first, so fold the top over and then sew the sides and the edges, that's absolutely fine. But I'm just going to do it like this, pin it all together, sew the top first and then sew down the sides and across the bottom. So if I show you this way, it makes it easier and quicker for me to explain it to you. So it's probably about an inch or 2.5 centimetres. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got enough space through the hair that your tape can fit through, or your cord, whatever you're using. I'm going to use the same white tape that I used on the other bag. So I'm following the guide on here so that I know the edge is straight, or the top straight. Now you can if you want to, once you've sewn it around here, so you then just go through your machine, sew it all the way around there, leave this end open here. Your seams have been enclosed, so there's nothing to fray. So if you wanted to, you could then put a line of top stitching right across the top here, but you don't have to do that. I'm not going to do that for this one. So I'm going to go now, sew along here, and then sew from where that is folded over here to the edge. So this then will not be stitched together, this little bit here at the top. And sew down here and across the bottom. So I'll do that and I will be back to you shortly. Hi, right, I'm back. So I've sewn around the top. You can see what I mean here, that the edges are left open for the cord to go through. I'll put my finger in so you can see. We've sewn up to there. Now, once I've done that, I've sewn down the side and across the bottom. Now, normally, what you would do now is turn that right way round, thread a cord through, and that's it. However, because we've got a lady who wants to know how to square corners off so that the bag it's more sturdy at the bottom or stands better, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you need to get hold of the fabric. So with it's lined, it's easier to do it with your hand inside. Pull it apart like so that your corners are here. Now, to measure this, let's have a look. That's approximately the middle. If you want, obviously, if you're making something that needs to be perfect, you actually measure the centre. So you would put your seam like so, your fabric, the edged bit like so. Now, make sure that it's pulled tight and press the seam that you've sewn down and then measure there. I'd say probably, let's have a look here, from the edge of the seam at this point here, the very point of the seam, but on the stitch line, not on the edge of the fabric, on the stitch line, I would measure maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches. Let me have a look and let me move my pointer mark. 1.5 inches, which is 4 centimetres. Let me have a look. No, we'll do it 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimetres. So, 2.5 centimetres, and put a pin crossways. Nope, I'm telling you to do it and I haven't done it. So, put your pin in there and then pin it across like so. Can you see that? Let me get it through there as well for you, like so. Alright, so you've got a pin straight across there, 2.5 centimetres from the edge of the seam line towards the centre of the bag. Do the same of the other side. So we need to pull our fabric like so, get the corners there and measure, where's the seam edge, that's it, measure 2.5 centimetres from the corner of the stitching, or the edge of the stitching, and pop your pin in like so. Now what we're going to do is to stitch straight across where this pin is, across there, through all the layers, straight across there. And then we're going to chop that bit of fabric off and neaten the hem by zigzag, neaten the seam by zigzag. So it'll be like, obviously you need to leave a little bit of a gap where you can neaten the edge. So if it's a bigger bag, like a Santa sack, you would then need to do a bigger space, but because this is quite a small one, it's just for a loaf or bread cakes, whatever, then it's going to be a small squared off corner. You can always do it further in once you've tried it. If you don't think that it's square enough, or if you need the square to be further in so your corners are further in, that's absolutely fine. You can always do it again a little bit further up. You just measure, say, a centimetre from your stitch line up here, and same that way as well. So I'll go and do this bit for you, and then I'll be back very shortly. So here we are. I've sewn straight across, and I've done a zigzag as well to neaten the edge. Same at this side, so sewn straight across here, and then zigzag close next to it. Okay, I'm now going to chop these corners off from this side of the stitching. If you cut this side of the stitching, you'll have a hole in the back. So, and I have done that before. You just need to sew it again. But anyhow, right, I'm going to cut this side off. Alright, so I'm just going to cut straight across, like so, and then straight across this side. It is a bit stiff, you've got quite a lot of fabric there with all the different layers. So you end up with your edges looking like that. That's it. You put it through to the right side, and you will see your corners. Oh, I've got my pincushion fast on my hand. Perfectly, when you get it pulled out properly, square and flat. You can press this obviously, or you should press it really, but as I say, because this has just got bread going into it, so you've got a seam or a corner like that. So that's squared off, which gives the bag more stability on the bottom. So your seam's down the middle, your bottom seam, and your edge across there. Now all we need to do is to thread the cord through, and then you have a drawstring bag with a squared off bottom. So I'll do that, and I'll come back to you. I'll show you again how to thread the cord, so just bear with me. Right, I'm back. It's a nightmare when I've left all my stuff in there because I just moved out for the temperature being too hot. So I've a safety pin. I've got a reel of cord here, so I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to put the pin through the end. I have just folded over, so it's got a bit of strength to it at the end. And I'm going to start obviously at one of the open ends and put your pin in, and right, okay, I shall show you. I think this might be in the opposite hand to which I did it before, but anyhow, here we go. So you put the pin in and you slide with your left hand, pull gently with your right hand, keeping hold of the pin with your left hand, and then it'll move up and move along your cord. So we'll try again. So slide with your left. I'm not moving my right at all. I'm holding it still. Let go with the right. Slide that back, but I've kept hold of the pin. Otherwise, you'll just pull the pin straight out on the cord. So slide with the left, pull with the right. Okay. Now as you get better and you do more of these, you'll be able to push. I haven't pulled it up there yet, but push quite a lot of gathers onto your pin. You see it here, and then gently hold your pin, gently slide your fabric along, you see. So hold your pin tight with your right, slide your fabric and hold your fabric with another finger on your right hand, like I do. I've got hold of the pin, but I'm gathering the fabric, holding the fabric here. You'll understand what I mean once you have a go with it. So then let go of the fabric, you've still got hold of the pin, slide the fabric. So we'll get to the end and then we'll pull it out the other side. And this is how you thread elastic, it's how you thread ribbon. So if you were doing some trousers and elastic waist, you'd thread the elastic through the waistband like this. So this is a technique really that you use quite a lot, is threading the elastic through. These kind of things you never really think about until you start to sew and you try to do it and you think, well, how do I get that in there? So anyhow, then you come to the end and it pops through, just the pin, pull the pin gently, hold your bag, hold your fabric, pull the pin gently and it comes off the roll. And then you just need to cut, that's a bit long actually, so pull some back, pull a little bit more back, there's no point using a load more to waste it. So I'll cut it about here. If you cut on the angle, it helps to stop it fraying. And then I'll take the pin out, put it back in my pot. I'll straighten that off. I'll put that one on the angle again. And then we're going to tie a knot in it again to stop it. You could actually thread this through a bead because it's in a point. If you've got some big beads, you could put it through a bead. I haven't got any handy at the moment. I have got some, but I'm going to hand this. So I'll pop that through. Make a knot near the end, and the same on, where's the other one? The other one. Make a knot with it. I can't get my hands to it, it's that hot. I had to take all my rings off because my fingers were swollen. Right, okay. So, and then fold your tape away so that you've got it for next time. I tend to just, it's ribbon, tape, lace. I tend to either, if it's like on a roll, just roll it back up and pop a pin in like so, and it stops it all on. Can you see that? Where am I? Here. Yeah, it's because I can't see the screen because of the sun. It stops it all unravelling and knotting together in your sewing box or whatever you're using to store things in. So that's that. Now our bag is ready to go. Now it won't obviously stand up because there's too much weight at the top with all the fabric, but that's how it works. That's your squared off bottom. It's flat against the surface, if you see, because we squared the corners off. So anything you put in there, it will stay quite stable. The top will go over, but because the bottom is squared off, then it shouldn't rock and fall over, unless obviously you load it and it's top heavy. So that's one of the requests I had, to have a look at how to do squared bottom. Okay, there's nothing worse than a squared bottom, apart from in a bag it's better. Okay, so that's the end of the tutorial. Let me put you back up so I can see you. Oh, my glass is sliding off, I'm so hot. Right, so there's your bag, ready for your bread or shoes even. You could put shoes in this to take on holiday, so that they stay nice and clean and they don't go onto your clothes. So you can put your shoes in and just bang that in your suitcase. The other thing is, you don't have to actually buy fabric to make these. You can make them out of any old clothes that you've got, any old dresses. As long as you've got enough fabric to make the shape, it doesn't really matter what the item is that you're cutting up. You can use anything. I always try and do them in cotton because they're washable at 60 degrees. And with this coronavirus thing that's going about at the moment, everybody's manic about washing at 60 degrees to get rid of any germs and things. So I always do them at 60, particularly if food's going to go in them, which it is in this obviously. It's bread's going in it. So once your bread's been in it, I mean, you don't have to wash it every time a loaf's been in it, but because I will, when I use it, I do still leave the plastic bag in there and pop the bag in. But if I make my own bread, which I'm intending to make more of, I do make it occasionally, and I don't have a wrapper obviously, then I'll just pop it in here. If it starts to look as though it needs a wash around the top, because you do get a little bit marked and grubby on here when you're handling them all the time, so then I would wash it. But ideally I'd wash it a couple of times a week if it's got unwrapped bread inside it, so that it stays clean. So you could make two, and you can see she just wants to pressing. You can make two and have one in use and one to wash. You could also do these for potatoes and onions. They all store well in these as well. Don't put your potatoes and onions in the same one, because the onion makes the potatoes go off, or vice versa. Don't know which way around it is. But yeah, so you could have them all matching and have them in the kitchen drawer with all your goodies in. Carrots, anything like that, although I do tend to keep carrots in the fridge. I don't find the store very well just in the cold place. But anyhow, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. The next video is going to be just a really quick video of some items that I'm on with at the moment that I'm going to be making. One of them's a baby outfit. So enjoy. It's Friday. Have a good weekend. And until next time, which should be a lot quicker than the distance between the last one and this one. Until then, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video and share it with all your friends. Thank you guys. See you later. Bye bye.